Whenever our heart condemns us, God is greater than our heart, and He knows everything. I could talk about all the external things, but remember, but sometimes our heart, that's the biggest obstacle, isn't it? Is your heart condemning you? Let me encourage you just one more time, because I don't want a single family member to miss out on the supper. Okay? God is greater than your heart. Remember the sermon? I preached this. I hope you remember this. That God is greater than your heart, even when your heart condemns you, even when you are doubting before God. God knows all things, and God is greater than your heart. And then He says He knows everything. I don't know about you. That's supposed to be a comfort, but when I first read this, it wasn't very comfortable. Whenever our heart condemns us, God is greater than our heart. Great, amen. And He knows everything. Really? Oh no. But then, I just remembered as I was preparing this, either this morning or yesterday, this is finishing touches, it reminded me of a story. And it's the story of the Apostle Peter. Do you know the story about the Apostle Peter, don't you? He denied Jesus how many times? 3 times. He was the leader of the disciples. He was a stalwart leader. He was a great representative of the 12 chosen. And yet, he denies Jesus. Yes, he did not betray Him, but he denied Him 3 times. But after Jesus' resurrection, now this is another sermon for another day, so I'm just going to get to my point, all right? After He rises again from the dead, Jesus tenderly searches Peter out. And what does He do? He gives him an opportunity 3 times to confess Him. For every time that he denied Him, Jesus gives Peter an opportunity to say, I love you. Jesus asks, Peter, do you have love for me? Peter says, yes, Lord, I have affection for you. Jesus says, Peter, do you love me? Peter says, yes, Lord, I have affection for you. That's a little bit different from what you are aware of, but this is my interpretation from the Greek. And the 3rd time, you know what Jesus says? Peter, do you have affection for me? And this is what Peter said. I'll just read this for you. Jesus said to him the 3rd time, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Do you have affection for me? Peter was grieved because he said to him the 3rd time, do you have affection for me? And he said to him, look at this, Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you. And you are going to go through seasons of doubt, dry spells in your walk with God. But in those moments, reflect back on how He has moved in your heart. And reflect back on those times when you were so close to Him. Reflect on the times where He spoke His word directly into your heart. And you shout at your faith and you cry out to God and say, Lord, you know everything. And even if my heart is denying it right now, you know that I love you. You planted that love in my heart in the first place. Can you say that? If that's you, then come. Participate. Eat fully and drink deeply. Be fully satisfied.